Hey guys, welcome to CPL Fever. It's Jack Murray here, and today Andrew and I are going to be interviewing super nice guy and FC Edmonton left back Duran Lee.
How's it going, Duran?
Hey.
How's your training session?
So today we just did just quick feet work, passing, short passing, long passing. And then at the end we did sprints. It was just this explosive stuff, just keep the legs going. Like nothing rigorous because today was really hot. It was 30 degrees today. So yeah, it was just stuff like that.
All right. Well, did you hear the good news about La Liga? It's coming back.
Yes. Is it June 8th?
Yeah, that's what Jack told me.
I believe so.
Is it June 8th? Yeah, something like that. And then I think they are going to start the actual season June 12th, right?
That sounds good.
Yeah. So, but I've heard here, I could be wrong, that the league is looking to start training here June 1st. So the next Tuesday, I think that day is, next Tuesday. Not this Tuesday, but the following one. So I heard about that. That's all I heard. So hopefully it's true because, like I said, it's just tough just to stay home and not really do much. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
La Liga starting in the Bundesliga is already, they kicked off their second weekend already.
Yeah.
So speaking of soccer, so how did you fall in love with soccer?
Yeah.
I think just watching it a lot when I was a kid. I think I was just one of those, and I know this kid doesn't do it, but I was one of those kids that would sit down as soon as I come from school. I'm watching whatever game's on. I don't care what league it is. I don't care what team. I'm always watching. And then there's this competition between basketball and soccer. So I was like, okay, I love watching basketball, but I didn't want to watch it as dedicated as I was to watching soccer. So that's why I think I just came from that, just from watching. It wasn't really so much playing it because when you're a kid, you don't really know what you really like. So I just decided, okay, you know what? Let me commit to soccer, and that's where I fell in love from watching it.
Really?
Yeah.
So why? So you just came home, and I guess you catch the games because they usually start at 2:45.
Yeah. Even then when I saved,
Champions League games and
9-10, I was so into in Champions League I am now. And now I know more details about it, the tactical stuff. But before, I would just watch, and I almost call it a phenom. I was just watching just to watch. And here I am, this 11, 12-year-old, 9-year-old kid that's always wanted to watch soccer all the time, and I still do it. But just something I grew into, and it's just I realized this is I really love watching this.
Because that's kind of an outlier thing, just picking it up yourself. Did you watch with your parents, or do you have siblings?
Yeah, no, actually, someone asked me this yesterday in an interview. They asked me did my parents tell me to go watch it? No, something I just picked up. It wasn't a friend that was watching that I decided I wanted to copy them. It was just I just picked up the remote and I just started watching. And then the moment I started watching, I kept going, I kept watching. And if there was no games on, I'll go on YouTube. I'll type in the players, see his highlights, teams, And now, fast forward now when I'm 25, it's just I'm still doing the exact same thing. So I almost call it a phenom. Just to be committed to something like that. Yeah, I still do it.
Yeah.
So do you? Do you think that your watching, at such an early age, kind of allowed you to understand positionally things quicker than maybe other people, so you could kind of advance tactically better?
Yeah, I remember I told a few kids this last year that the way I learned the game wasn't me playing, it was me watching, right? But the only thing I was missing that I couldn't what my brain was telling me to do, my feet wasn't matching it. So I didn't have, I was saying before to you guys, I wasn't as good as I am now. But I understood tactical stuff. I would sit, go on YouTube, type in tactical 4-3-3, 3-4-2, 3-5-2, all that stuff at such a young age. And then now, if someone asks me questions about it, I can break it down to them, every little detail of it. So I've always just loved it. So I think the reason why I am where I am now, yes, you got to be good, but it's because I was watching it.
Yeah. So what's your favorite formation? Because you said you can talk about a formation. So I'd love to hear you talk about your favorite formation.
So favorite formation is 4-3-3. I'm still always a 4-3-3 fan. Yeah.
It's interesting because I picked up this thing on Twitter the other day about the death of the straight number 10, right? Mm-hmm. And basically it was saying that, guys like Mesut Ozil and stuff that are just purely cams and can't defend, they're kind of struggling because, a lot of teams now they kind of need more 2-8s as opposed to just that 10 that doesn't have any defensive responsibility.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting.
That's why I think players like that like you just said, the reason why you have them in your team because they're so good attacking minded. Like their mind is so good in attacking third. So you have to utilize that to the best of their ability. So the best way to do that is just give them the responsibility of not defending. Just focus on attacking. Like I know Messi's he is the greatest ever. If you see him, he's walking around the field. He's not chasing nobody because he's dribbling so much during the game. So he exerts his energy in dribbling. So you can't tell him you got to chase back and defend because then how he's going to have the energy to attack. So I think nowadays, like you see a lot of teams doing now, like the best defense is the best attack. We keep saying within our team, like we're coming in, we have so much talent, it's unbelievable, and the tactical ideas that Jeff has for us, it makes everything so much easier. We're all on the same page, and we've only been training for 2 weeks before the shutdown.
Yeah. I met Jeff. Actually, I ran into him because he's from Halifax. So I saw him hanging out at the because Jack's a ball boy, so I had to take him like 2 hours early. Anyhow, so I just saw him there, and I'm like, "Hey, Jeff, how's it going?" And he's a friendly guy. So
he's I don't know if he's a better coach or a better man because for both he's really good. And it's funny because he never played professionally, so you would think a guy who didn't play professionally is not going to be that good as a coach. Yeah, he's never played professionally. I didn't know that till he told me. But the ideas that he has, even after training, sometimes I go to him every other session, and we talk little details of what he wants me to do in particular to kind of better the team. So once I have that, and the more we do it, the more we're going to be on the same page. And like for me, that's why I say like he for me will be up there as one of the best coaches of the year this year. He has my vote because he's very smart. He knows his stuff.
Okay.
I'm excited to see FC Edmonton this year.
Yeah, we're gonna be good. I was telling Roger, he thinks your guy's gonna win the league. I said no, watch out for us. So it's gonna be good. But I see Halifax is doing good too. I have a lot of good signings, a lot of international. Yeah. So everyone's gonna be gunning it out this year.
Yeah, I think this year it'll be a lot closer, and it won't. Yeah, and it won't be really cavalry and Forge running away with it.
Yeah, because I think you have a lot of the league's getting more recognition, so you have a lot of international guys coming in, especially from South America. Look how many Brazilians are in the league now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they're coming in, and then next you know it's gonna. Because that's let's be honest, that's what attracts a league. The more international foreign players you have, the better the league becomes because they have so much talent. Look at MLS right now. MLS is booming right now just because they have all these foreign players coming in.
Right.
Right. So I think that's what makes it good. And like I said, this is a Canadian league for Canadians, but you need to have that international flair, but the right international flair.
Right. Yeah. I think there's how many international spots are there on the
7
on the rosters?
7. Yeah. 7, so I think the only team that's kind of really haven't done much with internationals is the Pacific. They only have the one guy from Club America in Mexico. Everyone else is Canadian. All the other, I think it's 22 guys are Canadian. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of good. Like so Stephen obviously has the idea that he wants international players to be good. He has his Brazilians, he has his Jamaicans on there. His Trinidadian still with Rampy and Akeem.
Right.
So, it's still there. And I think Peter is also, he's still considered a European. He's still German, right? He doesn't have his Canadian passport.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think he still fall under the international spot. But anyway, he's still a good player. So it's a good trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your natural position is obviously center back, right?
No. Good joke. That's a good one. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's left back.
Yeah, because for the Wanderers, when you came to the Wanderers, and also when you were playing with Vaughn, you were playing center back at both those positions, right?
Both those, yeah.
So how is that? How is that playing center back? Because obviously, I get the sense from you that you kind of really have a zest for kind of getting forward. You like the kind of ambitious running back and forth like the wing backs have to do. Yeah. I mean, how is that to play to kind of play center back and not be able to take the same kind of risks that maybe you feel like you have the ability to?
Playing center back for Vaughn and Halifax, I think there was a difference for playing for both. I think with Vaughn, there's a little bit more of a leeway. So, like, I had a longer leash to kind of do what I want. Obviously, I'm a center back, so I can't just be dumb and just go attack. I had to kind of also have that defensive responsibility because I am the last man back. But when I was there under Patrice, even though I only had him for the year, he gave me so much opportunity to just express myself the way I wanted to play. And in return, it's funny how it worked because I defended so much better. I felt like I defended better actually in Vaughn than I did for Halifax. And I understand that the level was lower, obviously, in League One than it is in CPL, of course. But I think him giving me so much opportunity and express myself in attacking actually made me be more aware defensively. Because I'm having so much fun attacking, so much fun passing, doing all these short passes that he wants us to do. And I said, okay, I'm doing this, but there is that part where I have to defend. Now with Stephen taught me he taught me a whole other side of center back I never saw. Like these small touches I got to do to get out of space, get out of pressure. And I think that one of the things he taught me was side pressure is no pressure. And I always will remember that. I will never forget that. But I think in Halifax, it was kind of more of just doing whatever it takes, but doing the way that he wanted it, which I understand, but you got to kind of gel yourself to the way the players are because you're signing these players for a reason. So I think the coach needs to adapt to the players the way they are because he brought me in because he thought I did good for Vaughn. So if he thought I was doing good for Vaughn, he should kind of adapt himself to saying, okay, let Duran play. Let him play the way he wants to. And at times, I'm honest, I didn't feel like I had the responsibility to do what I want. I was really defensive. So, that's why. And then he did kind of find out Patrice told him that I do play left back. So he understood that's why I'm attacking so much. Because there'd be times where I would attack. And he would kind of tell me to sit back. Right? So I had to come with that. But, yeah, both of them had their ups and downs. But for me, I learned a lot with Patrice. I also still learned a lot under Stephen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what do you mean by side pressure is no pressure? What does that mean?
Yeah, so pretty much let's say if you have the ball and you're left-footed, as you said, and I'm applying pressure to your right foot, you're still able to dribble and pass the ball with your left foot because you don't have the ball on your right foot, you have the ball on your left foot. You can just position your body to go in between the man and the ball.
Gotcha.
So that's what he taught me because there'd be a lot of times where a guy would come on my right side and I'll kind of panic a little bit. I thought he could possibly win the ball. So he brought me to the side and said, if someone applies pressure to your right side, you can just hold them out with your right arm because it's not a foul, right? And you can kind of get in between and you just make that pass, or you can just take that touch with your stronger foot. Same thing if you're right-footed, being put pressure on your left. So things like that. So and once he taught me that, my game expanded so much just from that one thing he said.
Really? Okay.
I think it was after the Valor game, after my first game actually, he told me this, and that was a game we lost 2-0, and then we played Edmonton and Forge, and we tied. I think 3-4 games in a row. But my ideas of the way I wanted to play expanded just from those little few words. Mm-hmm. So now I'm dribbling with the ball on my left side, guys are playing pressure on my right, but I'm not nervous anymore because they're not really going to win the ball. If they do, they're going to have to foul. So that was the biggest thing I learned from Stephen, and I just took from there, and then my game expanded after every single time. Now the results weren't always there, but little by little I did improve. So that was kind of the big thing that made me where I am with the center back position.
Yeah, and it sounds like you've had some great coaches, and I'm sure they're amazing coaches. Right. But what was the best advice you've ever received from a coach? Because they're all so good at, because you've told us so many good pieces of information. Right. How are you going to choose one?
The best advice. Wow. That is actually a tough one. I would say it was when I was at TFC on the Jim Brennan. It was my second year. So I was 18 or 17. I think it was 17. Yeah. I remember he told me, you have no potential to go professional. Like, you're not good enough to go professional. Now, later down the road, I understood he was just saying that to get me motivated. He didn't actually mean that he didn't think I could go professional. But I remember when he said that, I got so mad. I was so frustrated at him and everyone. And 2 years after that, so I was like 20 or whatever, or 19, I remember that again. I remember the way he said it. I remember it was raining in the training session. I was going through a bad run of form. I wasn't training well. I wasn't playing well. And he said, there's no way you're going to go professional. You have no ambition. You have no ability to do it. And I took that, and every single time I trained, whether it was with the team or on my own, I always kept playing that in my head over and over. It was like a real psychological thing. Kept playing in my head, I'm not good enough. I can't go professional. There's no way. Even if I do where to go, I'm going to get released. Like, I'm not good. And I took that, and I remember I told him, you're the reason why I think I went to this level. So it wasn't the advice that was on the positive side. It was more on the negative side, but it turned out to be a positive. So yeah, him telling me that I'm not good enough at all, and obviously he used some cuss words, obviously in that sentence. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying. But from there, I took it as with a grain of salt, and just it turned into something really good.
So at that point in your development, did you start practicing more, or putting in more time, or working on your weak spots or your weak foot? More than you did before? Yeah,
so my weak foot right now is still very terrible. I always will say that. Still not good. But I actually was paying attention more to the detail of the way I was playing. So I was really working on my strength to make them become almost an impossible thing to stop. And then I was also had that part I was working on my weakness, so they can become a little bit of a strength, right? So I was paying attention to every single little thing, and I was still a teenager at the time. I was, and then the way I was watching soccer, it changed as well. So instead of me, because you know how when you watch soccer, the cameraman only follows the ball. Yeah. I actually would watch the guy in my position, even if it feels like he's going off camera. I would actually watch where he would be. So if the ball's on the right hand side, I have to see where the left back is coming in the defensive shape. Yeah. So I would watch things like that, all from those little words. It's funny how like little words can really change your mind on anything. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of why it was for me. It was the detail. It was the attention to detail I was focusing on. Even when I train some kids, like when I do, I tell them, I tell you pass to your right foot, you have to pass it to the right foot. If you don't, you start all over again. So little things like that, it will make you grow and grow, and next you know, it becomes like such an immune thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's interesting because you know watching the game is different from being there live. You know, because of the camera angle. Sometimes I wish they'd have just like an overhead camera angle or like a second camera that you could just choose. Like if you like, I know it's not the most appealing for everybody, but like it would be so instructive for certain people.
Right.
But you know, the interesting thing is, you know, when I started playing, you start to realize how important the communication is on the field, and I didn't know that at all before because you know you don't hear that on TV because you can't hear that. Right. But you start to hear, you know, what they're saying, or when you go to the live game, like in the Wanderers grounds, for example, where we first saw you play. Right. You know, you can hear the players, you know, not even as clearly all the time. But you can hear what they're saying, and you know, the crowd can the players can obviously hear what the crowd is saying, especially if you're a visiting guy and they're heckling.
But I think right now with there being no fans, obviously Bundesliga is starting first. I think this is good for the young kids. So like for someone like you, Jack, this is good. You can actually hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like, telling players to tuck in, push in, step up. You can actually hear it now because there are no fans to make noise. So I think this is the best time right now for young kids or even teenagers to really be in tune with the game with no fans because you can hear everything they're saying. And obviously they're saying some outrageous thing, but you can hear every little thing they're saying. So I think for you in particular, you should really focus on that. Not really so much of the ball, of just what they're saying. And guys in your position, so you can kind of replicate what they're doing onto the field. And now, because of that, because like you said, you can't really hear what they're saying when the game's going on. It's so loud. But now there's no fans at all. Now there's no excuse. You can actually hear everything they're saying. And these are the top pros, right? So I think that's the best time. Yeah, 'cause I realized that, like, wow, you can hear every little thing they're saying.
Yeah,
and
cool.
And it was so interesting when I was a ball boy to hear all the players talking because like Daddy said and you said, you don't hear those things on TV.
Right.
But it was just so amazing to hear all the words. Because when I was my first time being a ball boy, I really didn't realize that they talked that much. I thought it was kind of a more silent game.
Yeah.
But no, it's really loud.
But you know, sometimes you can play with your teammates so much, you actually don't even need to talk. It's almost just a simultaneous thing of like, you just know your player's going to come into position. And that's the stuff that comes into training all the time, working on the field. So there is that communication part, but sometimes you don't even have to say anything. Like if I'm playing with someone I know really well and has been there with me through the rough times, I know even if I look over my right shoulder, my left shoulder, he's there. So it's not really, you don't even have to talk in moments like, listen, if we're in this position, you got to be here. Mm-hmm. So that only comes with repetition. That you will realize that you don't need to communicate, because sometimes the best action is just not say anything. It just speaks of your play.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you might win the nicest guy in the CPL award.
A few people have told me this.
Yeah, exactly. Like because I remember the first time you came, you played, right, and then you walked over to the stands, and Jack was a ball boy there. I got a couple pictures of you. That picture's actually on our site, CPL Fever.
Oh, okay,
actually.
all right. That's nice.
Yeah,
like
but yeah, you were just kind of shaking hands and so that's nice. So, but this leads into a question, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, you're obviously a friendly guy, very happy, jovial, right?
Yeah.
And yet soccer is especially at this level, it's a very aggressive, game.
Right.
You could even say cutthroat. So how do you kind of go from happy Duran to like on the field, badass Duran?
Yeah, no, because my mom. There was a time where I would get so mad after games, And my parents would get so mad. They would say, "Oh, you got to watch your attitude." Like, I had a really, really bad attitude if I didn't play well or we lost or something like that. So I just like, okay, I need to change my attitude. I've always been a generally nice guy. So it's funny because when the game starts, like there's a switch. Like I compare it to like a Russell Westbrook. He's so nice off the court, but on the court he's a different thing. But what I've learned is people are gonna judge you not on the way you play. They're gonna judge you off, right? So if you have a bad game or your team loses, regardless if you play well or not, you can't translate what you did on the field to off the field because you have young kids watching, and those young kids are gonna replicate what you do. They're actually not gonna replicate what their parents are doing. They're gonna replicate the player they want to emulate. Mm-hmm. So I have that in my mind. I've learned that, especially under Danny Dichio. He always taught the professionalism of the game. And, I said, okay, how do you set an example, not just from your play, but an example in terms of what kids want to be. Like, kids want to be this nice guy, but they also have that dirty side where they play in the game. So when I'm in the game, I'm like so intense. I get really, really mad, right? But I also have that spot where I say, okay, I have to understand that there are kids watching. And you are going to say a few words here and there because it's the moment of the game. Right? And Jack, as you get older, you probably will learn that on your own. But you always have to have that part to yourself where you say, okay, the game's done. Acknowledge the fans. Acknowledge the kids. This and that. Because there's even some kids, I even said to them, how do you think I played? And they always say, oh, you play really good. You play, I love the way. And I say, no, be honest. Like, you can tell me if I didn't play good or whatever. But, yeah, like, it's so funny. Like, a countless amount of friends that told me, you're so nice off the field, but now on the field is different. Like, I'm swearing and all this aggressiveness and all this stuff, but I say it's just that's the competitive side of Duran. But there is that other side that people see most of the time, which is this side right now. So yeah, so it's a completely different thing. Sometimes I don't really like the way I am like that on the field, but I feel like it fuels me, helps me to like really focus on the game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And you're talking about how like kids wanting to be like their favorite players. So as a kid and even now, who do you try and emulate in your game?
So now I know everyone's talking about Alphonso Davies, and my friend said, if I'm going to be the next Alphonso Davies, I said, no. Alphonso Davies is on another level right now. He's gone. But overall, I've always tried to emulate Jordi Alba. He's still my favorite left back just because the way he moves about with the field, the way he links up with Messi, the amount of goals he's assisted with Messi when he makes a run in behind and he crosses it, kind of cutting back towards 18-yard box. I've always wanted to replicate that. And obviously that's probably comes with repetition with them. So I've always tried to copy him. The way he tracks back, he's just running straight, coming back into his position to cover Gerard Piqué. So I've always tried to copy that. But in terms of flair, a little bit of skill, maybe like a Marcelo. Because the way he does the tricks, and I can't do the tricks like him. I don't have the skills like him. But I try to do that. So I think people kind of get the misunderstanding. I'm so tall, so I think I don't have control. I can't dribble a ball. But then when they actually see me play, it's like, wow, for a guy your size, you're so technical. I think because I try to copy what these guys do. I sometimes I tell myself I wish I was like a 5'6" instead of being like 6'2", because I feel like if I was 5'6", I got a low center of gravity, I got better technique, I'm better at this and better at that, But obviously, you can't get everything you want. But those are the two players, and Jordi Alba is still to this day my favorite player to watch.
Yeah. He is fun to watch.
Yeah,
and
I like him a lot.
And
dangerous.
I wanted to know, how did you get so technical?
Just always just training. There's no secret. There's no like hidden gem. It's just training. That's all it is. Just keep training. Keep working on your technique. There are going to be so many times where your technique's not good, but keep going. That's the only thing I can say. Like there's no like secret sauce, as I would call it. It's just keep doing it.
But were you like naturally talented? Like were you like the best player on your team at a certain time? Or?
Nope, never. I was never the guy that people look up to play. I was never that guy. I was always that guy that wanted to copy the best player on my team. I was never that guy that was the most technical. I was the fastest, but I was getting annoyed at that part of my game. I didn't want to be known as the fast. I wanted to be more known as the guy who can make the pass, the guy who can dribble, the guy who has a good touch. I wanted to be known as that guy. And that's what happened when I was in Chelsea in England. I got the best sportsman-like award. And I didn't want that award. I wanted an award that showed my skill. So best defender, best whatever. So I didn't get that, and I really was upset. But no, I was never the best player. So what I did, I just kept working on my game, working. And I can officially say now to this day, like I have such a really good touch for someone that had absolutely nothing. I would toe tap on the ball. I wouldn't even dribble. So it's really amazing, and it makes me so happy to see how much I've grown as a player.
You would toe punt it, you said?
Toe punt. Oh yeah, toe punt. I wouldn't even like do lace. It would be a toe punt.
Okay.
Oh, I needed to ask my mom to send me some clips. Oh, the way I was as a player, I don't even like watching it. It was so bad. It was really,
Yeah.
really bad. Like, and that's probably an understatement. So it's crazy how much I've grown, like, to this day.
So how'd you get
Yeah.
to Chelsea? Tell me
Yeah.
about that
So
experience.
so it was
How old were
my
you
old.
at that time?
I think I was about 12 or 13. It was when I probably entering almost high school. Or yeah, something like that. And my old coach John Botello, who's from Portugal, he was coaching my old team, Brandon Soccer Club, and he had like a little connection to Chelsea. So I just said I want to go because I was always watching soccer. I want to go. I want to go. So I went with my dad. Me and my dad went, and another dad and their kids went. It was like 6 of us that went. We went. It was supposed to be just a fun thing. It was just to go, spend our money, enjoy the experience, and come back. So I went there, and I went there. You had guys from Saudi Arabia, Germany, Brazil, Spain. Everyone was everywhere. We were there for about a few weeks. So I was just playing, and they called me Nigel Reo-Coker because I had a low haircut, and they were saying I was playing like him. I'm like, Nigel Reo-Coker, he used to play for Aston Villa. And I was just playing whatever, and I was doing really good. And I was like, wow, like, Duran is doing good in Chelsea, one of the most recognized academies in the world. So at the end, I told you I get the sportsmanlike award to come back. And 2 weeks later, me being back home, I get a letter in the mail, and it's from Chelsea Academy. And the academy director at the time, I don't remember his name. And in the letter, the first letter when I got before I went there the first time, it said, "Dear participant." So they acknowledged who I was, anything like that. This letter acknowledged who I was. It said, "Dear Duran Lee." So I acknowledged, I'm actually a human being. And then it said, this is whatever his name was, this is the academy director of Chelsea FC. We really enjoyed the way you played. And there was like 4 or 5 letters. And this and that. He said, we will come. But the only thing I had to cover, or my parents had to cover, was just my flight there. Everything else was covered. Is there going to be a Montreal? If I do good, I signed officially with the Chelsea FC Academy. Mm-hmm. So I showed my mom. And at that time, my mom was just like, school. No, everything was school. So I showed the letter. And I was a young kid, so I couldn't really vouch for myself. I showed the letter. She said no. Because I think parents, they're afraid something might happen to their kid when they go abroad. And she said, no. There's more letters. And then it never happened. So I remember I went to high school, my first year, grade 9, and I had all these letters saved. And my friend Ray, he was always around me, saw these letters. And my locker was so messy. I was such a messy kid back then. The letters fell out. And it's funny, one of the letters seeped out of the pile, and it was a Chelsea letter. He read it, and the face he gave me was like in utter shock. He couldn't believe it. He like read it, and he kept it for himself. And I told him I need it back. And I just threw them out. So there's no physical evidence to show that I have these letters. So I threw them out.
Okay.
So that's the reason why Chelsea's my favorite team.
That's my little brother's favorite team.
Yeah,
I like Chelsea too, but I love their academy. That's what I love about it.
The system there, the facilities, oh my gosh. I know they're a lot better now, but I always say, what could have been? So, yeah. But it's not good to live in the past anyways.
Yeah. Well,
whenever he sees the logo, he says, Chelsea!
Yeah. I'm telling you, for me, they're still the best team in England. I know they're not showing it right now, but they are.
I think they have the best academy in England, one of the best in the world, but I think the best is Ajax.
Barcelona. Fulham is good, too. Fulham has a very good academy system.
Is it?
Fulham is good. Yeah, Fulham is good.
So you also went to Portugal, right?
Portugal.
Yeah.
So how did you get over to Portugal? I mean, that's...
Yeah, it was kind of the same kind of way, but instead of being close to a player on my team actually brought me to this guy that he knows was training just kids that he wants to send abroad. Actually, 2 kids from there actually had the potential of signing with Benfica Academy, actually. Benfica or Braga, who had the best in Portugal.
In the camp you were at in Portugal.
Yeah, so they had the 2 best academies in the country, and they wanted to sign. And one kid was from named Zach, who plays for the New England Revolution Academy right now. But I went over there, and he just said, "Hey, do you want to go?" I said, "Okay, yeah, I would go. Of course, who doesn't want to go to Europe, especially as a Canadian?" So I said, "Yeah." Went there for the first time. I went for a week. The team was called Sentinense, small town in Ceuta, with 3 hours from Lisbon. I went. They liked the way I played. They kept calling me Benjamin Mendy. Really nothing alike, but I guess black guy left-footed. They say, "Okay, you're Benjamin Mendy." So I went back again. This time was for a little over a month. And they put me as center back, and I'm like, I cannot escape this whole center back stuff. Like, even when I go somewhere abroad, I'm still playing center back. So I go center back, and did good there. And then I told him, listen, I'm here. I need to try left back. And it was what made it so good. The dialogue was good because a lot of them spoke really good English. So went there. So they put me at left back, and they just said, "Yeah, like we need to take this guy." But they were going through such a financial crisis that they couldn't. I guess there's a fee for international players I didn't know about, but apparently there is, and they never signed me. So they wanted to come. They wanted me to sign actually in January before I ever went to Vaughn. So I wasn't supposed to go to Vaughn. I was actually supposed to be there.
Really?
Went through a financial crisis. Yeah, this is a story that a lot of people don't know about because I just kind of said it never happened. So it was a point really telling you. But yeah, I was never supposed to actually come back. I was supposed to stay there. And I never was supposed to go back to. I was never supposed to go to Vaughn. I was supposed to stay there, but I always say it's a blessing in disguise. Something still came out of it good.
How's the food in Portugal?
Oh, amazing! Oh my gosh, what's it called? Picanha? Oh my gosh, picanha, lettuce, corn, like simple stuff, but it's so good. It's so good, and like it's cheap over there in Portugal. They're one of the cheapest countries in Europe. I didn't know that. It's really good. The weather's nice. The water, oh, it's nice. It's nice. The beach.
And then you ended up in Vaughn.
then I go to Vaughn. But you know what? At least I was home. So you know what? Can't beat being home.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah.
But
And
tell me about
Oh.
like with Portugal, what do they do different over there? Do they focus on futsal? Like what's
No,
the,
yeah. So I think a lot of people get it
is it the
misunderstood
same?
that they think a lot of those guys are technical. They play futsal. None of those guys actually play futsal. There was no futsal training, no futsal court anywhere around. It does that everything they do is just with the ball. The only thing they don't do with the ball is just stretching, like which everyone doesn't do. So I think that was just the biggest difference. Like every single thing they do with the ball, like everything, fitness, everything was with the ball. So it was like, hey, this makes sense. This is why they're at the level they are. And when guys do come here, they're on a different level because everything's with the ball, everything, left foot, right foot, and like I was saying before, if they say pass it to your right foot and you pass it to someone's left foot, the drill starts all over again. It doesn't matter how long it takes to develop. Right, so that's the difference. It's not like we can do what they could do, but they just do it on a consistent level all the time. All the time. If you tell them to do 10 keep-ups with the right foot, they'll do 10 keep-ups with their right foot 10 out of 10. We will do it maybe 5 or 6 out of 10, but they will do it 10 out of 10. That's the difference. And third division in Portugal is a good level, but it's almost as good as CPL. Or CPL is just as good as that level. I watched, like, I think 5 games before I came back here. The level is just as good. But those players, they just think everything 2 steps ahead. Mm-hmm. Everything is 2 steps ahead. Like it's on their level. So I always will say, like, if you really want to test your ability, go over there. Go to there, Spain, or one of those countries, because there you'll realize how good you are, or maybe how not good you are. So for me, everything is just the ball.
So it's
what
about
was the lasting
the
impact
2 steps
of Portugal?
ahead.
Oh, what would you say was the lasting impact of Portugal? Of being in Portugal.
It's just the detail. Like it's just the detail, just how much they pay attention to everything.
Okay.
Like, I think what I've noticed here over the years, that coaches will coach you, but then they'll also start talking to other people. They have their hands behind their back, and they're watching everything you do. Everything from even stretching is competitive. And you're into the warm, and like it's like for me, I felt like I would have thrived really, really well in that environment. I've always wanted to say I need to be a part of a team that always just focuses on stuff with the ball, but obviously it didn't happen like I wanted it to. But for me, that was the last impact, just the detail they pay attention to, like everything.
So do they focus more on like being able to do things with both feet, and then also being able to just do everything with the ball without looking at it, so that they can focus on thinking ahead?
Yeah. So
would that be accurate?
Right. Yeah. So it's kind of universal, the drills that everyone does, like the drills we do here, like they do over there. But one thing I noticed was a particular possession game. And the standard possession game, just 5 against 5, pass the ball around, get 10 passes, get a point, whatever. For them, it was the guy in the middle was the most important guy for each team. Every single pass that was made had to be into the middle, because everything starts with the middle, they said. Everything. If you want to go forward, it comes from the middle. If you want to go back, it comes from the middle. Everything goes through the middle. So I have actually never seen, out of all the teams I played on, I've never seen such technical center midfielders ever in my life. Mm-hmm. Every center, even guys that didn't play, every center midfielder can pass and dribble with their right foot, or their weak foot. Everyone. They can turn on a dime pass. One guy actually signed for Benfica. I don't remember his name, but he signed for Benfica. So it's evident. A guy goes from third division in Portugal to the top team in the country. there, it's like everyone is so technical. So there's nothing special. It's just everyone's just really good with the ball because that's all they do. Everything. It's just really good players over there.
Wow.
Really good. Yeah, I can almost remember like it was yesterday. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, everyone there is good.
So you ended up with Vaughn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Azzurri, and then as that was happening, like, were you aware of the CPL?
Yeah. Oh
did
yeah,
you hear about it?
Yeah, I knew about it before while I was in Portugal. I started hearing about it more and more and more as the days went on, and I said, okay, I I want to be a part of this, of this new thing going on. But there's a story attached with Sigma that I just kind of tell people, but it's an unfortunate story. But yeah, I knew about it. Patrice right away, he never kept anything secret. He told me right off the bat, if you play well, I will get you somewhere. He never told me where, but he said, I'll get you somewhere. Even when it became a thing that Halifax was going to sign me, I think there's a little speculation. I had a little injury coming in of an ankle, and Stephen wasn't sure if he wanted to bring a guy who was already injured, right? Because I'm coming to replace Peter. So Patrice said, he told Stephen, if you don't take Duran, I will have Duran go somewhere else. Like, Duran will go somewhere. Patrice never told me where. I don't know if it was USL, maybe another CPL team. He never told me. I never asked about it. He knows a lot more than I do. So I think that's when Steve said, okay, I got to take this guy. Because if I don't, and he goes somewhere that's better, and he does really well, this is an opportunity I missed out on. Right? Mm-hmm. So I think Patrice put the pressure on him, which is why I love Patrice so much. And that's how it kind of what happened.
So how did you get on Stephen Hart's radar? Was it just from the games that at the, like, was that the first time he saw about you?
Yeah,
I think Can Champion, or was he already aware, or?
There were so many rumors going on. Like, I heard he was interested in a few guys from the Sigma system, because I think it was just Sigma's such a well-known team or academy based in the country. But I think it was just so much more obvious that he took notice when I played against him twice, or played against Halifax twice. I think he took real notice, and it's easier for a scout or coach to see a player when he's playing against them in person. So right. I think those were the two games that solidified me going there. And yeah, that's pretty much how it went down. I don't think it kind of went the other way.
Was it difficult to come into like a pro team mid-season? Because, everyone's kind of established, and then suddenly you show up.
Yeah.
That must have been a little bit.
Yeah. I think going into any new environment is always tough, because you try to understand how things work. Mm-hmm. Right? You don't want to kind of be that guy that just does things on his own. If you do have the right intention, you just didn't know the rules technically. I just came there. I just wanted to see how things unveiled, and then I would just mold myself in. But what made it hard, though, was just the fact that I was coming to a team that was kind of struggling. And I'm not coming in as a striker where I can change the game just with the goals I scored. I'm the one that's stopping the goals. And I can concede a goal, but we can also win 4-1. We still get the 3 points. But the source of the goal scoring that make the game matter. So I was trying to come in and say, okay, how do I come into a team that's the chemistry is not the best, because I know the form is not that good. But I'm coming in where I still say the fans are the best in the league. There's no comparison. So I'm trying to come in where I'm trying to establish myself as a good apple in the team, but also be this really good player that they say they want to come back. So I try to find that balance, and I did. And at times I was struggling. But I was telling Steven that, listen, I want to be the guy that comes back. I want to be the guy that plays for you. Obviously, I didn't come back, so that's an obvious one. But he really admired me. He really said I really matured, like, as fast as I did. He said that, like, a lot of guys were kind of like wanted to be around me because, like, I was just a nice guy on the team. But I told him, like, I'm just coming here just to be the nice guy. I think everyone knew that a lot of guys weren't going to come back. So yeah, for me that was the hardest part, just coming to a team that kind of wasn't doing so well in the league.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to talk about FC Edmonton. So how excited are you to be going to FC Edmonton, and what excites you the most? To be playing for Jeff Paulus and your new team.
So you asked why as well, right? Did I decide to go to Edmonton? Yeah. So first, why? It's just like he was the only coach that was committed to saying I was going to play left back. There was no speculation I was going to go center back. Obviously, barring any injuries in the left center back position, I would go in. But not going to. We obviously hope that doesn't happen. But he was the only one that was consistently saying you're going to be playing this position. Mm-hmm. So once I heard that, and he spoke with my agent, it was kind of like just an easier process. There were other teams that were interested in me, and they wanted me to come in and start, but they wanted me to center back, and I can't play that position if I want to go to a higher level. So that was the reason. And once I got there, it became so much easier because I was playing my position, and I had a coach that believed me in that position.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So it must be pretty nice that you had like a few different teams interested in you.
Yeah,
Like at that time, even though you're playing this position that
Yeah,
you're like,
I know.
don't look at me in this position.
Yeah.
Look at how I can play the other one over here.
But you know what I say about that? I say if I can have teams interested in me in a position it's not I don't want to play, but I know that's not my best position. Yeah. Imagine the interest I could get from playing my position I've been playing for so long. So that's so I look at that from the positive aspect of it. But I was saying I don't want to commit to a team that, I don't feel like is 100% believing in me, because if I'm telling you I want to play my left back position and you don't want me to play that, then I don't think you're believing in my full capability or my full potential. So right. I felt that from Jeff right off the bat, and I still feel that talking with him still and training under him. So that's why I will never regret coming to Edmonton. So that's why it was an easy move for me.
Yeah. And how long were you in Edmonton before returning to Ontario?
Oh, it actually worked well because the last game was in Toronto or in New York. So I just actually packed up all my stuff because the team said there's no point in me coming back to Halifax and then flying out the next day. I might as well just pack up my stuff. So after the game, I just went home with my family. It was actually, so it actually worked well, where I know some guys have to go back to Halifax, pack their stuff, and go home to wherever they came from.
Yeah. Yeah, and how long were you in Edmonton before returning to Ontario because of COVID-19?
I think, it was a month and a half. I think it was a month and a half. Yeah. February till April. No, February till May. Oh, no. So that was like 2.5 months. 2.5, 3 months. Yeah. So I was there for a while. Yeah.
And what was your favorite thing about training with FC Edmonton?
In the short amount of time I've been with that team, I would say it's been my favorite thing. Wow, I actually don't know. There's a lot of good things. I'm gonna have to say just the relationship I quickly developed with Jeff. I think that's my favorite thing. I've only been training for 2 weeks, and how quickly him and I are able to talk about soccer stuff. That's what I like about him the most. He's so quick to talk about soccer. He wants to talk about football all the time. So I think that's my favorite thing. Yeah, I have a head coach I can always talk to about stuff like that.
Do you find that other players on the team share your passion for kind of watching the game, or like your kind of obsession with kind of formations and tacticalness? Or are there players on the team that just, play and don't really want to?
Every team has those guys. Every team will have those guys that are only playing the game just to play it. They don't really want to be interested in it off the field. But the one player I will say that's just as interested is Jano, my right back compatriot. For me, the stuff we talked about off the field, and we haven't hung out really ever since the lockdown became. But we will talk like after a session for like a good 15 minutes. And I know 15 minutes is not a long time, but the stuff we talked about felt like a long time. So for me and Jano, definitely for sure. And I think it's good because he's coming in to be one of the best right backs in the league, and I'm coming to be one of the best left backs in the league. So I think that's why we butt heads so well.
Yeah.
So definitely Jano. Yeah, Jano for sure.
So if you're watching a UCL Champions League Cup final, is he the one who you want to watch it with?
Yes, it would be Jano. Jano and my roommate. Jano, Melly, and Eric. But if I had to pick one, I hope they're not listening to this, or they don't listen to this, but I would probably have to say it probably would have to be Eric. Okay. Eric Zetterberg, yeah. Yeah, to watch, but then to talk about on-field stuff would be Jano.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how big of how was the transitioning from League One to the CPL? Do you find it like a kind of adjustment in the speed of play?
Yeah, so that was so you actually answered it. Yeah, that was the biggest adjustment, was the speed of play and how quick you got to react to kind of reading a situation. That was a big difference. But in terms of me fitting into the league, no. If I'm being honest, I didn't find that hard at all. I actually found that relatively easy, just because I've worked so hard to get to this point, and when you work so hard for something, when you get there, it's not as hard as you thought. It's actually a lot easier. So it had nothing to do with my individual capability of being in the league, or just understand how fast the game goes. So that was it. Yeah.
I also wanted to talk to you a bit more about being left back. So were you always a left back, or because most players start more forward and then they become more defensive or go into more of a defensive position? So were you always a left back, or were you more of a forward before?
Yeah, I was a left winger for majority of my youth years and teenage years. I only started playing left back when I got to TFC, and then it grew more when I was at Sigma, and as well I was in college. But yeah, no, I only started playing left back when I was at TFC, and it was Thomas Roggen who came from Ajax that came in, and he saw something that no other coach or trainer ever saw. He just saw me. This guy is not a center back. I played it so well, but he said he's not a center back. He has, or a holding man. He has to play this position. And at first I didn't want to play. I'm like, left back, no. And then once I started playing it, I just like took on this. I said my best year ever as a soccer player was when I was 17, my second year at TFC. I was absolutely flying. Like every game was just so easy, and it's him. He's the reason why that I am playing left back, and I love the position. So he saw something in me, and you have a guy, like you said, Ajax, one of the best academies in the world, coming in from Ajax to say, no, you had to play this position. So yeah, he saw something in me that no other coach here ever saw, and it took a guy from another continent to come and say that. So yeah.
Wow.
And like, what was one of the things that so he kind of saw that you were fast and
I think because I always still had that mindset, like even though I never played left back, I always still wanted to go higher. I always felt like I could be involved with the play. Maybe because I am fast, so I just would quickly get into the higher side of the field. But I think one of the things he said was I was good at dribbling. Now my dribbling is a lot better, but my dribbling there was good enough that he said I should play this position. The one thing I didn't have that I have now, I was terrible at crossing. I could not cross the ball to save my life. Never. But now my crossing is really, really, really good. So that's the one thing I worked on. But he said if you want to be a good left back in the world, you have to be able to pick out that final cross or that final pass. So I worked on that a lot. And yeah, so that's kind of how it worked out.
Yeah. So what tips would you give for playing left back? Because Dad plays left back.
Oh, tips. So
and I'm sure a lot of people who are watching are left back.
So for all the left backs out there, I would say be as attacking minded as you can be. I think that would be my best advice. Be as attacking minded as you be, because it will put so much pressure on their right winger to have to defend you. Because like I said a lot earlier, the best defense is a better attack. So if you're attacking, you're high up the field, he has no choice but to have to defend you. Because now it's a 2v1. It's you as left back and your left winger against their one right back. No team wants that. So he has to come back and defend you now. So now it puts pressure on him. So I would say attack, and like Thomas Roggen said, be able to cross the ball. Low drive, up in the air, pick out a play. You have to be able to have that, because that would be the reason why you get to the next level and the next level. So that would be my one thing. Attack. Just even if you're playing for a coach that really wants you to defend, attack, because he's going to see something that he never saw. So that's what I would say. Yeah.
I think that's what Pep was saying in that documentary we were watching.
Yeah, I think that was what he was saying. If you go forward enough, the right winger will mark you, and even if the winger gets to the ball, he isn't going to be able to run all that way to make a huge scoring opportunity.
Yep.
All right. So what do you eat that makes you so fast? Is there something special that you eat, or do you drink a lot of water?
So I do drink a lot of water now, but that's not the reason. But I say, I think it's just like God-given ability that I got. I don't think it's not something I've worked on. Just everybody is naturally good at something, and that was one of the things I was always naturally good at. Was just being fast. I was just naturally a fast guy and a fast kid. So no, there's not like I do eat healthy, but relatively, no, I don't. There's no secret ingredient to being fast. But there are techniques and speed training that you can do to increase your speed. But for me, no, I've always naturally been a fast guy.
And staying on the food topic, is there a diet that you do follow in the in during the season to keep fit, or do you just eat healthy, like you said?
Yeah. No. So all through the year, I generally try to eat as healthy as I can. There are moments where I do eat my cheesecake, as I told many people before. I love my cheesecake. But no, I actually eat healthier in the off season than I do during the week. I feel like in the off season you're not playing as much, so you're not bringing all those calories. So I try to keep as healthy of a diet as I can. But in the season, you can get away with a little not so healthy meal here and there because you're burning it so fast, and you are going to work out again the next day. So yeah, no, relatively, our nutritionist, she'll give us recommendations of what we can eat. But one thing she said, which was I think was really nice, was we eat so healthy all the time that we're able to get away with a cheat day once a week. It's okay. It doesn't hurt our body. It's okay. So taking that, obviously you can take it whichever way you want. You can really use that or you don't. But for me, no, I relatively just always eat healthy. Lean diets, as I say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were talking about your cheesecake. You love strawberries in it, right?
Oh, yes. If there's no strawberries in it, I don't want it.
Really?
I'm not touching it. There has to be strawberry cheesecake and strawberry shortcake. If there's no strawberries in it, don't even give it to Duran. Don't even bother. You're wasting your time.
Is there a special ingredient other than the strawberries that you do use for strawberry cheesecake? And if you do you bake it yourself?
No. So if I were to bake it myself, I would set the house on fire. I know that for sure. So don't trust me when it comes to baking. I can cook though. I can cook a nice steak. I can do that. But baking, no. And it's actually funny right now. I'm actually drinking strawberry lemonade juice. So it's actually, I just always need to have strawberries in everything. Whether I'm making yogurt, strawberries are my favorite thing to eat, actually. I think I realized that like last year.
Really?
I love strawberries. Yeah, I don't know where it came from, but I just love strawberries.
Is strawberry cheesecake your favorite thing to eat with strawberries? Or is it better to eat just plain strawberries? Or is it better to eat strawberries with something that you really like strawberry cheesecake?
I say strawberry with something. Yeah, okay. I do like strawberries alone, but it's always nice to have it with something.
Is there other food that you really like other than strawberries?
Love my steak. Always will love it. Love my shrimp. Love my lobster. I'm a big seafood guy.
Shrimp. Woohoo!
Yeah, those three things I could eat for the rest of my life. So yeah, those three. I can eat those for the rest of my life.
I love steak, shrimp, and lobster also.
Yeah, with some garlic sauce. Oh my gosh, you can't go wrong, man. You cannot go wrong with those three.
You're making me hungry.
And you know what? I'm actually getting hungry, and I just ate like 40 minutes ago. Yeah, so I'm really hungry. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you, there's one documentary that's trending in all of Canada, The Last Dance. So have you watched it? Because you said that you like basketball.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched it, yeah.
So is MJ the best basketball player in the world?
LeBron is the best. LeBron is the greatest. I need everyone to understand that and be on the same page as I am. LeBron is the greatest basketball talent ever.
And what makes him better than MJ?
So the mindset, MJ's better. MJ has that killer instinct. He has that.
Yeah.
Same thing with Kobe. That's why they replicate each other. But in terms of a natural talent, to be able to be 6'8", 270 pounds and dribble and be a point guard in his 17th year, be the leading assist guy, averaging 10 or 11 assists a game, that's just talent. That shows the GOAT mentality. He is the greatest of all time. He's on pace to be top 5 assists. He's on pace to be the leading scorer in NBA history. You gotta give credit where credit's due. People are afraid to say LeBron's better than Michael because I think people just want to say Michael's the best because it's just Michael. But LeBron is better. He's just naturally a better basketball player. That's how it is. And people need to accept that, or they have a problem. They don't know sport. That's all I'll say. LeBron is the best. He is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else that you do like in The Last Dance, though?
I actually liked Steve Kerr a lot, actually.
Okay.
I actually like Steve Kerr a lot. I like Steve Kerr. I liked Dennis Rodman. I just like the way he was. He's so different. I like that. So those two guys outside of Michael and Scotty, because they were like the main guys, of course. Yeah, I'll say Dennis and Steve Kerr.
Yeah, I like some of those rebounds, where Rodman kind of tips it in and then goes into the chair. Man, that was badass.
He can get 0 points and get like 25 rebounds. It's like wow. Yeah, this pays the millions, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, the thing that struck me about that is Michael Jordan. He just seemed not really satisfied with anything, you know?
Yeah, well, you know what though? The guy Willington, wherever his last name was, he said that he probably wasn't that good of a teammate, but he did. You got to do what you got to do to win. And it's funny, Michael Jordan got emotional when he said, if you don't like what he did or whatever, like then you don't have to play that way. So he did say winning has a price, and it does have a price. It has a big price. So you got to be willing to sacrifice whatever it takes. So I think that should be for not just for sport, that should be for any kind of mindset you have. Just try to win your day as much as possible, and then you can say, I achieved what I need to do, whatever it took. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of like when you go on the field, you just kind of flip that switch, and you're like the field
So
player
that's I think that's where it comes in. Now I don't have the killer instinct like him. He's on a level same like a guy like Kobe Bryant, But that switch just comes out of nowhere, and it's not like when the moment I step on the field, like it's there. It's like some point, just like it just goes on. I forget about everything. I forget about being this nice guy that everyone likes to talk about with Duran, but I just go into this other mindset that even leading up to the game, I don't like to talk to people. I like to just keep it to myself. I don't like even talking to my teammates. So it just has this switch, and then the moment the game's done, I go back to the guy I was before. So yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, that makes sense to me when you say that.
Yeah, it just makes me focus more. It's just a thing I just had growing up as a kid. It makes me focus. If I'm too nice or I'm too trying to make all these jokes, I actually don't play well. I actually never played well being that way. So I said, okay, I do play better when I'm really serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So rumor has it you're named after a famous 80s band.
Duran. Yes.
So, do you like them? And if you do, what's your favorite song?
I have never listened to them, believe it or not. I am named after a famous band. I have never listened to one song. I think one of the songs is called "Hungry Like the Wolf" or "Cry Like the Wolf" or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's "Hungry Like the Wolf."
Never listened to it before.
Heard
like, how do you have never listened to it if you're named after that? Because
it's sad.
Like that, like, do you work hard to not hear it?
No,
like, or like your parents didn't force you, like Duran, like. Your name.
You gotta listen.
This, you gotta listen to this. Like we like all the names in the universe, and we pulled this one. You better listen to this song, man. It's that good. No,
they never just like said, "Oh, you have to listen to it." But I just never came across listening to them. Even then, I heard they were a good band. I just never went on YouTube and typed in their song or one of their band songs. I never listened to them. I know they're good though, so I obviously will say that.
Yeah, I tried to. Yeah, never mind. Because I tried to avoid Justin Bieber,
yes.
Because it was for years and years, and I probably had heard a song maybe in a mall, but I never knew if it was his or not.
Right.
And then finally, Jack, saw some Christmas song, and it's on Spotify, and Jack, he hearts the song, and I'm like Justin Bieber. I'm like, oh, I finally heard one now. Now it's over my streak.
Yeah, no, I never listened to a song. But you know what? Since you guys brought it up, I'm going to listen to a song. I'm going to listen to one.
Me and Maya will be happy.
Okay. Good.
Cool. Well, did you have any last questions, Jack?
I did. I also wanted to talk about the clubs again, because you've been to quite a few clubs in your career. Yeah. You've been to Portugal, you've been in Sigma, and many others. Mm-hmm. But what club do you think really took your game to the next level? Now, there are a lot of stuff that could point into the direction of TFC Academy.
Yeah.
But is it that?
The one club. You know what? For me, it's between TFC and Vaughn. And I know I was only at Vaughn for the 1 year. Unfortunately, I wish I was there longer. But I was with Sigma. But Vaughn had a way of playing, expanding my game in one way, and teams had it another way. But if I had to make the case, I think I have to say Patrice. And I'm not saying Vaughn. I have to say one particular man. It's Patrice, because what he did for me, and it wasn't even a full year actually. I just say the year because it was in 2019. But what he did for me playing a position I didn't want to play, for me, I told him once I signed, I said, I owe you my life, man. Because he actually, I thought I knew the game. But the stuff, I think what made it so good was the fact that he let me play. And I said this before, he let me play. And I've always said, as I get older, I actually fit best in a team or in a coach or for a system that allows me to play. Don't give me the X's and O's. Don't give me this. And I know. And I'm not saying I know everything, but I know what I need to do to get the job done. So once we have that establishment, which is right now, that's what Jeff is doing. Right now, what Patrice did for me in 2019 last year is what Jeff is doing right now. I'm not sure if he's doing it on purpose or that's just the way he is. I don't know. I've never had it for a long time. But what Patrice did for me is what Jeff is doing right now. And I know I'm not the one talking to the future like that about my play, but I feel like the year I can have right now is going to be unbelievable. I think I'm like a lot of people are going to be like, wow, look at this guy Duran. Because of a coach like Jeff, a coach like Patrice, they allowed me to play. There wasn't so much, not so tight, just breathe, go play. So for me, I have to, not Vaughn, I have to say Patrice. It is Patrice. I have to say one man.
So in some ways, is it kind of like there are coaches that want to win in the here and now, and that's their kind of main goal, and then there's some coaches where they kind of see, yes, okay, it's great to win, but my ultimate goal is how can I make these
players better?
Like this player better, help them kind of become a better player long term.
That is exactly Jeff and Patrice. That is exactly that. Jeff wants to win. That's the main goal, to win. Mm-hmm. But if you have a player under Jeff, or like I say, Patrice, and that guy or that player goes to another level, it's going to come back to he came from that club. He came from that coach. So, yes, winning is the ultimate goal, but developing is actually bigger. Because if I go to, let's just say, I go to Juventus. If I go to Juventus, they're going to look I came from FC Edmonton under Jeff. So now Jeff's going to give more recognition. Jeff's going to get more attention. And now all these players, I know, want to play for Jeff Paulus. So, yes, you win. And let's say Edmonton finishes fifth in the table. They finished fifth in the table, but they had a player go to one of the biggest teams in the world. So things like that, I feel like was the reason why coaches become good. Because, they're not winning, but then they become successful in terms of developing. And next thing you know, because all the players want to play for them now, then they start winning because they took the development side of it first instead of the winning side. And now they're doing what they're doing. So, I think that would be, for me, I think you got to be a coach that develops a player first before you win. Right? Because it's not easy to win, so you might as well take the process as it comes.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see how the CPL will develop, in that regard, as well. So
and
it's kind of cool.
And if you ever became a coach, I think you'd be a developing coach first. But
yes, I would.
Is that something in your long-term future?
I do want to become a coach. I don't know if I want to become a coach or more of a trainer to actually train kids individually on their game. But coach is definitely in one of my goals that I want to be a coach or a scout, maybe more of a scout. I think I want to be a scout and develop the player or just like a personal trainer for players.
Jack trained with Eddie Johnson, right?
Yes, I saw that. And you told me it went well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that is something I would want to do.
I think it would be amazing if you would do it because the environment is what really made it so amazing.
Really good. And I think what makes it good, too, you can teach the player about the field stuff, but you can also talk to him from a psychological standpoint of like how to expand the game mentally.
Yeah.
Because it's actually, the game's more mental than it's physical. Everybody can run. Everybody can jump. Everybody can kick a ball. So I think what will kind of make a player grow is the psychological part. How can that player become better tactically aware in any position, not just his position or her position? So things like that. So that's what I will say. That's something I want to be. So something I actually want to be like an Eddie Johnson off the field and train.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have a few more questions for you, so I'm gonna kind of rapid fire at you. What has your favorite drill in quarantine been? Well, obviously you can't do it with the team, but what is your favorite personal drill been?
It's a reaction drill. So you have 4 cones in the box, and you're in the middle, and you have a friend or a player in front of you that passes the ball, and you label the cone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, it doesn't matter. And you do one touch passing. Then once the ball is played back to you from the guy, he'll yell out 3. And if you go to 3, you just quickly step to 3, you come back in the middle, and you continue the one touch passing. So that's kind of been my drill, my go-to drill since I've been in quarantine. So that'll be it.
Yeah. And you could also do it with the wall, right?
Yes, you can also do it with the wall. Yep.
Yeah. Isn't the wall your best friend?
The wall is my best friend, but as I got older, I said, okay, I can't really play with the wall too much. I've learned about that, so I'll just do keepers once in a while in the house, but most time, no, I don't do the wall so much anymore. So me and the wall, we're not best friends right now. Hopefully later on, maybe, who knows? But yeah, right now we're not best friends.
Okay. Also, when do you think the CPL will be back?
I say July. I can actually say now, I'm confident to say the season will happen. It'll be in July.
Okay.
Yeah, my thing is first week of July. We'll start.
Cool.
Okay.
That's something to look forward to.
Yep.
Yeah, that is something.
We'll get to see bombing up and down the left side like Alfonso there.
Get to go back to the Wanderers ground. No fans, unfortunately, but yeah, like it just feels good to say I can actually go and play these places now. Like it's going to be official soon.
Yeah. I'm excited to see those overlapping runs.
Yep. And to play on a grass pitch, need that. It's good for my legs. Grass field. I hate turf.
Will they have turf in Edmonton?
Turf in Edmonton. They have turf in Valor, turf Forge. I think only grass is York 9 and Calgary. Yeah. And then York 9 and you guys have the best grass.
The Wanderers grounds does have really nice grass, but I want to go to all of the stadiums so I can see like all the stadiums up close. Yep. But I'd like to see bigger stadiums as well in the CPL. You gotta go to Winnipeg, Valor. You would love that. Oh, the stadium is huge. Oh man, when that was my first game, I was just like, wow, this is. They have the best. Like I could say, they have the best structure. Like they have the best facility for a game. Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely, Valor is wow. It's amazing there. Nice.
Yeah. And do you play FIFA?
Oh, I do. Not as much, but I'm still very good.
Okay, Xbox or PS4?
Ooh, let's go PS4.
Okay.
PS4.
Favorite team to use?
Man City or Barcelona.
And what are the cheat teams to use?
The cheat teams?
Yeah.
Liverpool. Van Dijk is a cheat code in himself. You cannot get by that guy. Liverpool is a cheat code. Anyone that uses Liverpool, to me, they're not that good.
Okay.
They are a cheat code.
Yeah, I like to use Wolves.
Wolves? Okay, see, that's different. See, now I think you're really good because you're not using a team that everyone want to use.
But his friend always picks Liverpool.
Oh, see, so then your friend is not good. Doesn't matter if your friend beats you 10 out of 10, you use Liverpool, he's not good.
Yeah.
He's not good.
Is France a cheat team? Because a lot of people use France too.
Yeah. France is. If you use France, I'm sorry, Jack, you are not that good. France
no,
is a cheat.
I use
France
Spain.
and Liverpool, they're just fast, good defenders. That's a cheat team.
I use Spain for country.
Okay. You see,
or
there
Belgium.
You go. Belgium's good. Belgium, Spain, Man City, Barca, Arsenal. I like Arsenal too. No, Man U. I'll never touch Man U. Sorry, no, like them at all. Never. I don't think they're good at all.
I've never touched them either.
Yeah, no, not a fan. Ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left, they've been running downhill.
Yeah.
Running. They've been falling.
I think they made Champions League once or twice since he's been gone.
Yeah.
I think the one time or the second time was last year when they beat PSG. Well, no, the year before when they beat PSG, and then they lost to Barca last year.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, my two last questions for you, and it's clear that you love soccer so much. So, who are your favorite teams in the Bundesliga? And since June, because Bundesliga is on its second week now, and on June 8th, but La Liga is back. But who do you like in La Liga?
In La Liga is Barcelona and Valencia.
Okay.
Yeah, Barcelona.
Why Barcelona and Valencia?
Well,
let me guess for Barcelona.
Yeah.
Tiki-taka?
The tiki-taka. Yeah, ever since when Guardiola was there, tiki-taka. And then Valencia, they kind of play that too. Villarreal too. I like Villarreal a lot. The Yellow Submarines, they call them. I like them a lot. They play also good possession. Sandy Garzola, I'm a big fan of him. I love the way he plays. So, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, those three. I say those three, Villarreal and Barca and Valencia.
Okay. And what about Bundesliga?
Bundesliga, obvious one is Bayern Munich. Dortmund, and I am a fan of Hoffenheim, the way they press.
Okay.
And Leipzig. So for me, top three would be, or my top two would be Dortmund and Bayern, but I would slip in a Leipzig in there as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Big fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just finished my rapid fire. I know that was kind of jumping all around there.
No, it's good. It's fine. I like it.
Well, that's good. I like rapid fire too. But thank you so much, Duran, for joining us. It's been an honor to talk with you. And we wish FC Edmonton and you luck in the CPL.
No, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And when the season starts, because the season is going to start, can't wait to be in Halifax.
All right. Well, thanks, Duran. Really appreciate your time, and good luck in this season, the CPL. We'll be cheering you on the games that we see you at.
Yep, and keep in touch. And make sure you guys stay safe. Wear your mask and gloves, please.
You too.
Okay. Thanks, Duran.
Take care, guys.
Okay.
Bye. Thanks, Duran.